Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today is 11th of September. It's worldwide famous as 9/11. Today marks the 18th anniversary of the horrific incident that took place in America 18 years ago. On 9/11, two sad things happened. First of all, more than 3,000 Americans were killed, and the second was that nearly 2 billion Muslim peoples were to be blamed for that incident. Yes, the worst thing that the mankind has ever done is to link terrorism to a religious faith called Islam. Really, that's the worst thing that the mankind has ever done. And its consequences are still felt today. The adverse effect seems to be never ending. I, as a Muslim, realize that. Each and everywhere I go, people see me with suspicion. The conditions get much worse when the Muslim is bearded and wearing a skull cape. And on this matter, each and every Muslims will agree with me on this matter. It's my belief. And deep down inside, each and every one of you who are listening knows that. And today, why I have come is to just make it clear once and for all that terrorism has nothing to do with Islam. Islam is a religion of peace. Yes, it's a religion of peace. You see, if I make mistakes, blame it on me. Yes, if I commit mistakes, blame it on me, not on my religion. Islam is perfect. I am not. After that horrific 9/11 incident, what we are going through is really can't be spoken in words, but could be felt. You have to be just one of us to realize that. Yes, what we are going through. You see, terrorism, unjustified killings of innocent people, unjustified violence of any sort are completely, absolutely forbidden in Islam. Islam is not only a religion, it's a way of life that is meant to bring peace to a society. After the horrific 9/11 incident, the double standards and the hypocrisy regarding us Muslims have really escalated to a new height, a new level. And I can prove you with many more examples. You see, when you attack black people, they call it racism. When you attack Jewish, they call it anti-Semitism. When you attack women, they call it gender discrimination. When you attack homosexuality, they call it intolerance. When you attack a religious sect, they call it hate speech. When you attack a country or a state, they call it terrorism. But when they attack on the dignity of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, they call it freedom of expression, freedom of speech. You see, that's the hypocrisy I'm talking about. And I'm gonna illustrate you with many more examples. You see, a Jew can grow his beard to practice his faith with no problems, but when a Muslim does the same, he is labeled as an extremist. A nun can cover herself from head to toe in order to devote herself to God, but when a Muslim woman does the same, she is considered to be oppressed. When a person defends his land, he is considered to be a hero, but when a Muslim does the same, he is considered to be a terrorist. Have you ever wondered why? That's the double standard I'm talking about. Even in my friends come and ask me about that. Not all Muslims are terrorists, but every terrorist are Muslims. That really pisses me off, and I just ask them a few questions, which I'm going to do right now with each and every one of you watching, that would really clear your mind. Who started the First World War? Was it Muslims? Who started the Second World War? Was it Muslims? Who killed more than 20 million Aborigines in Australia? Was it Muslims? Who killed more than 100 million Indians in North America? Was it Muslims? Who killed more than 50 million Indians in South America? Was it Muslims? Who threw the atom bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Was it Muslims? Who took nearly 180 million African people as slaves, and nearly 88% of them died and thrown into Atlantic Oceans? Was it Muslims? You see, That's the hypocrisy I'm talking about. No, they were not Muslims. They were not Muslims. I reiterate, they were not Muslims. That's what I'm talking about. You see, first and foremost, you have to define what actually terrorism is. You have to define it properly. When a non-Muslim, when a non-Muslim does something bad, really bad, it is labeled as a crime. But when a Muslim does the same act, it's terrorism. Yes, it's terrorism. You see, people around the world, they see Muslims behind the guns. Yes, but that's not the real picture. That's not the truth. We are not the hunters, instead we are hunted. We are not the oppressors, instead we are oppressed. People, you see, Buddhist peoples kill us in Burma, in Myanmar, Rohingya peoples, you know what I mean? The Hindu extremists kill us in Kashmir. Yes, they really do. The Jewish people in Israel kills Palestinian Muslims. You see, I can cite you many more examples, but I know there is no time to do. It really would take a lot of time to do that, like a documentary sort of things. Muslims are not terrorists. You see, when Americans kill more than 1 million Iraqi people just for their selfish benefits for oil, it's not terrorism. When Serbs rape women, our Muslim brethren in Bosnia and Kosovo, it's not terrorism. When Israel kills more than 10,000 Lebanese civilian peoples just for their 2 missing soldiers, it's not terrorism. When Americans kill Afghanistani families and Pakistani families in drones, drone aerial some sort of bombings, it's not labeled as terrorism. Why? Russian killed more than 200,000 Chechens in bombings. It's not terrorism. No, that really pisses me off. It really does. It seems that terrorism has only been reserved for Muslims. Yes. Muslims retaliate and show you how you treat them. You label that as a sort of terrorism. Why? I just need to ask you, why? Why do you do that? Islam is perfect. I am not. If I do any sort of mistakes or commit any sort of crime, blame it on me, not on my religion. Yes, judging Islam on the basis of few Muslim people is like eating a rotten fruit and blaming the whole tree. Judge a Muslim, judge a people by his character, not his religion. You see? We are just as civilized as you are. We are not sort of peoples who goes around just loves to bomb people, just loves to kill people. No. This Islamophobia is a cancer that needs to be cured. Yes, and luckily it is the only cancer in the world that can be treated free of cost just by spreading love, just by mutual understanding amongst ourselves, just by establishing social harmony in our society. So that needs to be done. And I mean each and every religious groups needs to come together, unite, and really show the world that it is a better place to live when we live it together. You have to admit that the politicians use this sort of crap to just for their selfish benefits. just for the sake of power, they really divides us, divides humans into really strange feelings. Really, I just can't explain you in words. But really, we have to come together. We really have to have a mutual understanding amongst ourselves. We really have to tolerate each other. There should be no room for intolerance. Really, no room for intolerance. Each and every country must realize that demonizing a religious faith is corrosive to our vital national security interest. Yes, people must realize this. Each and every country must realize this. Each and every country. When people say that Muslims are terrorists, all sort of craps, I just answer them with only one fact. Yes, nearly 1/3 of the world populations are Muslims. Nearly 2 billion people in the world are Muslims. If Islam really teaches violence, if Islam was really a religion of terrorism, no other religious faith would have existed. I can cite you an example of Indonesia, the country with the most Muslim population. If Islam was a religion of terrorism, there would be no humans in Indonesia. But see, they live happily. They really do. Especially this media has really made our life miserable. They really have a propaganda for jihad, but they don't know what really jihad is. And I'm gonna tell you what jihad is. Smiling in tough times in jihad. Smiling in tough times is jihad. Keeping patient in hard times is jihad. Struggling for good deeds is jihad. Taking care of your old parents in a respectful way is jihad. Forgiving is jihad. Jihad is not what the media shows, but what the Quran says. Yes, the world did not come with an instruction manual. That's not true. It really have come with an instruction manual, and it's called Quran. And Quran is not only exclusive to Muslims. Each and every one can read that, and only truth has been mentioned there. Only truth, and it's a solution to every complicated questions that your mind have created. It really has completely each and every answer to that. Islam is a religion of peace, and Islam is a mercy. And if you're saying its opposite, cruelty, then know that it is not Islam. Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world. It is the fastest growing religion in the world. And all those peoples reverting to Islam are not mad. Yes, they have realized what truth is. So I'm not telling you to revert to those to Islam and all those stuff. No, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you to love us. Just love us. If you love us, we'll love you double. We'll love you. We'll give you lots and lots of love. We are just thirsty for love. We are not thirsty for blood, but we are thirsty for love. So please be united and spread social harmony amongst the society.
कुछ भी कर लो